Hey guys, what's up? It's CS back here with another installment, and here are my picks for UFC 166, Velasquez vs. Dos Santos 3. Now, I'm ultra excited for this card because that main card is pretty fun on paper. Velasquez vs. Dos Santos for the third time. Of course, third time for the heavyweight title. Velasquez this time champion again. We'll see what happens. Daniel Cormier versus Roy Nelson, another good heavyweight matchup. Melendez versus Sanchez, that could be close. Gonzaga versus Jordan, another heavyweight one. And a flyweight matchup to kick us off, John Dodson versus Darrell Montague, which I'll get to lastly, but we'll kick it off with the top of the main card, the main event between, again, Cain Velasquez and Junior Dos Santos for the third time. Alright guys, now taking a look at what these two bring to the table. Of course, in their last fight, seeing Cain Velasquez do what he did to Junior Dos Santos, I'm pretty sure most people expected that to happen in their first fight, but of course, it was the opposite where Junior Dos Santos was able to get a quick knockout, and then we thought that was going to happen in the second fight, but no, it was pretty much everyone's first fight prediction where Cain Velasquez was able to go in there, out-cardio, out-wrestle Junior Dos Santos, and of course, when Junior Dos Santos was heavily trying to counter-wrestle, he was also getting outstruck as well, getting knocked down by Velasquez and, getting boxed up here and there. So, it was a very nice win for Cain Velasquez in that second fight, and banking on the fact that I think both of these guys will be healthy, I'm going to say Cain Velasquez is going to win this fight as well. I think he's going to be more used to the 5-round nature than Junior Dos Santos. I think that Dos Santos, his cardio is good for the heavyweight division, but Velasquez is great. So I look for Velasquez to turn it up past round 3, just continue to be more aggressive with his takedowns, just moving forward, and if Junior Dos Santos can't step back and be able to land something, then he's going to be in trouble. Now, Dos Santos would prefer to get an early finish, preferably in 1 or 2, of course. And you know what? I think that Cain's going to be quicker on the trigger as far as getting a takedown off or an attempt off than Dos Santos is going to be able to wind up for one of those punches. So that's why I see Velasquez winning this fight. I think that he's just going to be the first to take down the whole time, just chilling in Dos Santos' guard once Dos Santos is on his back. Sure, it's going to take a while for Velasquez to maybe get in the rhythm of getting numerous takedowns off successfully throughout the fight, because Dos Santos might be able to stuff him early, but he's not going to be able to stuff every one of them. I see this going past round 2, and I don't see Junior Dos Santos being able to land something late, and that's why I see Cain Velasquez out-wrestling Junior Dos Santos for the most part. Would I like to see a Dos Santos finish early, or even a Velasquez finish early? That'd be cool. Maybe Velasquez is able to finish Dos Santos late too via TKO or some sort of submission. Who knows? But yeah, I just think that a healthy Velasquez beats a healthy Dos Santos for the aforementioned reasons. So yes, I'm going to go with Cain Velasquez by a late finish. I'm going to say a 4th round TKO due to ground and pound. Guys, I just have to pick the fresher, more aggressive fighter in the later stages of the fight if I don't think it's going to end early. So again, Cain Velasquez for the win. Moving on, though, another heavyweight matchup. Daniel Cormier, Cain Velasquez's teammate, versus Roy Nelson. This shouldn't even be close. Both these guys are short, stocky heavyweights, but one's way more athletic, one's stronger, one's a better wrestler, one's more of an aggressive puncher as far as volume, and that's why Daniel Cormier is going to win, because he's the guy that's all these things. Roy Nelson has a hell of a flamethrower of a right hand, but Daniel Cormier should be able to dodge that plus more just by getting these takedowns off, or just being aggressive by trying to get him, maybe trying to clinch Roy Nelson up, maybe getting a clinch from within there. He has pretty good balance, does Daniel Cormier. Roy Nelson, he's going to want to be able to knock out Daniel Cormier, because he ain't going to win this by outpointing Daniel Cormier late. Cormier's cardio is on paper better, although we haven't seen Cormier push the limit as far as his cardio, because usually Cormier is just dictating the pace of the fight with his wrestling rather easily. He can outbox you as well. We kind of saw that against Jeff Monson and Josh Barnett. So, maybe Daniel Cormier feels like taking that route against Roy Nelson. However, unlike Jeff Monson or Josh Barnett, Roy Nelson is kind of a threat on his feet with that flamethrower of a right hand again. So maybe Daniel Cormier plans to just outbox Roy Nelson in a more boring fashion, not throwing as many combinations, but doing enough to be effective enough for the judges to give him the rounds, plus getting those takedowns off at the end. So I can see Daniel Cormier doing that. I'm going to say he does that. So 30-27, Daniel Cormier plays it safe. Would be nice to see him get a sick finish, but I don't think it's going to happen if he most likely plays it safe. Anyway, let's move on to the lightweight matchup. This one is between Gilbert Melendez and Diego Sanchez. Gilbert Melendez, what does he bring to the table? Of course, he is a former Strikeforce world champion, and he is a standard lightweight fighter that is a good striker as far as his boxing is concerned, and a good wrestler with some jiu-jitsu. Of course, a decent amount of jiu-jitsu training out of Cesar Gracie's camp out there in California. I think that Melendez, on paper, if he's able to get takedowns off against Diego Sanchez after setting him up with the combinations, he should be able to ride out most of these rounds. Diego, though, is hard to keep down. He's a very good submission grappler in his own right. He has done grappling competitions in the past. Diego's not the type of guy to be grounded and pounded upon. So if Gilbert wants to do Gilbert Melendez-esque MMA against Diego, it's going to be pretty tough, but he still could escape with a decision doing that. Sanchez, he's a big lightweight because he initially started his MMA career as a middleweight. But look where he's at now. He's at lightweight for like the second or third time. And this is a winnable fight for him, in my opinion. Sure, Gilbert was a world champion at one point, but Diego Sanchez, with his aggressive, sometimes non-game planning style, it could result for a robbery win for him. You know what I'm saying? He might be able to go out there, throw a lot of punches in the air. None of them connect, but the judges think they do, so they gave him the rounds against Gilbert. If Gilbert's just chilling on the outside, maybe not appearing to do enough, maybe Diego Sanchez is able to escape with this decision. Of course, if Diego is the fresher fighter at near the end of 3 rounds, maybe he even gets takedowns off. Who knows? However, Gilbert Melendez himself, pretty good counter wrestler and has very good cardio in his own right. I think this is not going to be a matchup of who's going to be the fresher fighter, which has been a story in Diego Sanchez fights. I think it's just going to be who's the better fighter. And for me here, they are evenly matched up as far as skill set. But I think Gilbert is going to have a game plan that I'm not even going to be sure of. I'm going to say Gilbert outboxes Diego from the outside. I think technically he is a better boxer. If he's better drastically anywhere than Diego Sanchez, it is his boxing. So look for Gilbert to outstrike Diego, maybe get takedowns off at the end of rounds or at least pursue them. I think he wins at least 29-28 versus Diego Sanchez. But again, don't sleep on Diego because he can make this close with a stupid aggressive style. Now let's move on to Gabriel Gonzaga and Shawn Jordan in the heavyweight division. So wow, it's a pretty heavy main card, but it's a fun fight here. Shawn Jordan, up-and-coming heavyweight, decent hands, pretty good athlete. On the other side, you have Gabriel Gonzaga, pretty good hands in his own right as far as power is concerned, but his real strength in the heavyweight division is his ability to tap you out. If Gabriel Gonzaga gets one takedown off and you're not Fabricio Verdum, for example, you're probably in trouble if you're a heavyweight. So Shawn Jordan definitely wants to avoid the mat at all costs versus Gabriel Gonzaga. I don't think Gonzaga is going to resort to the old Gonzaga where he's going to stand up with guys that he shouldn't be. He shouldn't stand up with Shawn Jordan because Shawn Jordan does have electric power in both of his punches. Pretty good kickboxer in general as far as output. But yeah, I think Gabriel Gonzaga is going to look to get this thing on the mat ASAP. I think he's going to drive Shawn Jordan into the cage with some sort of clinch attempt, look to trip him down from there. If not, make a level change for a double leg. Shawn Jordan, though, has a low center of gravity, so it's going to be hard to take him down. Maybe Gonzaga is better off by trying to trip him somehow. But yeah, I really don't want to see Gonzaga set up his jiu-jitsu by trying to knock this guy down first. I think Gonzaga should just go in there, in for the kill as far as trying to take him down from close quarters and then get a rear naked choke off or something once Jordan is down. So yeah, I'm going to look for Gonzaga to do that. I say he gets a submission off mid to late first round. Jordan, again, hell of an athlete. He's going to be hard to keep down. He's going to be squirmy and stuff, but in the end, I think it's likelier that Gonzaga gets the submission. And last but not least on this main card, we have flyweights going at it between Darrell Montague and John Dodson. Now, I think John Dodson's pretty much better than Darrell everywhere. I think John is a better athlete. I think he's faster, he's stronger, better wrestling on paper, his hands way faster. And I think that he's going to be able to move in and out of the pocket, just tattooing Montague with combinations, eventually knocking him down and finishing off with a submission, if not a TKO. I think Dodson's the real deal at flyweight, and eventually I think he gets back to a title shot opportunity with Demetrius Johnson. That was a hell of a fight that they had earlier in the year, and I think that Dodson's eventually going to get there after this win over Montague and maybe one or two other opponents. But yeah, I think Montague's a good warm-up fight. He's one of the top flyweights in the world. It's just Dodson, a little bit more polish everywhere. If I'm Montague, I don't even know what you do against Dodson because I don't think Montague's taking him down. I don't think he's knocking him out. I don't think he can out-clinch him. You know, what do you do? So again, Dodson for the win, knockout, just faster, more technical hands. And there it is, guys. That about does it for my main card picks of UFC 166, Velasquez versus Dos Santos 3. Again, for all my preliminary card picks and more, check out the description below. Thank you for all the support once again. Hope you guys tune into this card. I definitely will. So, yeah, just get at me after. Maybe I do a review. Who knows? But, again, thanks. So, deuces for all my supporters, bruises for all my haters, and take care. Peace.